Imagine waking up one day and realizing you've spent months or even years accepting treatment you never deserved, not because you wanted to, but because it happened so slowly that you barely noticed. Maybe someone constantly criticized you and called it love. Maybe they crossed your boundaries and expected you to stay quiet. Maybe every time something felt wrong, you told yourself, I'm probably overthinking it. Nobody's perfect. Maybe they'll change. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The behaviors you tolerate today become the standards people believe they can treat you by tomorrow. Psychology teaches us that every healthy relationship, whether it's with a partner, a friend, a family member, or a coworker, is built on one unshakable foundation: respect. Without respect, trust begins to crumble, communication breaks down, emotional safety disappears, and little by little, your confidence starts fading with it. The most dangerous part? Many toxic behaviors don't begin with shouting, betrayal, or obvious abuse. They begin with small moments that seem easy to excuse, until those moments become a pattern. In today's video, we're uncovering 5 unacceptable behaviors that should never be tolerated, no matter who they're coming from. These are the warning signs psychology says can quietly damage your self-worth, your mental health, and your peace of mind. Because protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's one of the healthiest decisions you'll ever make. Let's get started. Have you ever noticed how some people can insult you, then instantly smile and say, "Relax, I'm just kidding"? It sounds harmless, but pay close attention. The joke is almost always about your intelligence, your appearance, your dreams, or your worth. That's not humor. It's disrespect wearing a disguise. Healthy humor brings people together. Toxic humor singles one person out and leaves them feeling embarrassed or ashamed. Psychologists refer to this as hostile humor, a tactic often used to test your boundaries. If you laugh it off or stay silent, the behavior usually escalates. What starts as a sarcastic comment becomes regular criticism, and eventually, open disrespect. Never confuse cruelty with comedy. People who genuinely care about you don't need to humiliate you to get a laugh. The right people make you feel valued, not small. Respect should never be the punchline. Have you ever heard someone say, "If you really loved me," or "You've changed," right after you set a healthy boundary? Those words may sound emotional, but they're often designed to make you question yourself instead of addressing the real issue. This is known as quilt manipulation, a tactic that shifts the focus away from their behavior and places the emotional weight on your shoulders. Instead of respecting your decision, they make you feel selfish for saying no. But here's the truth. Healthy people don't punish boundaries. They respect them. Real love never demands that you sacrifice your peace of mind just to keep someone else comfortable. If someone consistently uses quilt to control your choices, they're not asking for understanding. They're asking for power. Strong relationships are built on honesty, accountability, and mutual respect, never on emotional blackmail. Everyone makes mistakes, and everyone has moments they wish they could take back. But there's a huge difference between an occasional mistake and a repeated pattern of dishonesty. Trust isn't usually destroyed by one lie. It slowly erodes every time the truth is replaced with deception. Before long, you find yourself questioning everything they say. Were they honest yesterday? Are they telling the truth now? What are they hiding next? Living with constant uncertainty keeps your mind on high alert, creating stress and emotional exhaustion. Psychology shows that when trust is repeatedly broken, your brain struggles to feel safe, making even simple conversations feel draining. Someone who truly values you protects your trust because they know it's difficult to earn and easy to lose. But someone who lies again and again isn't just hiding the truth, they're damaging the very foundation of the relationship. And once trust is gone, love by itself is rarely enough to repair what repeated dishonesty has broken. Control rarely begins with obvious demands. It starts with small requests that seem harmless. Text me every hour. Don't wear that. Why are you talking to those people? At first, it may sound like concern or protection, but over time, those requests become expectations, and those expectations become rules. Little by little, your freedom disappears, and you begin asking for permission instead of making your own decisions. That's not love, it's control. Healthy relationships encourage independence, support your individuality, and celebrate your personal growth. Controlling relationships create fear, self-doubt, and dependence. The goal of real love is never to make you smaller or easier to manage. It's to help you become the strongest version of yourself. If someone truly loves you, they'll trust your judgment, respect your choices, and never ask you to sacrifice your identity just to make them feel secure. Feelings don't matter. You finally open up about your pain only to hear, "You're too sensitive," "You're overreacting," "That never happened," or "You're imagining things." Over time, these responses can cause you to question your own memories, emotions, and instincts. This is why emotional invalidation, and in more extreme cases, gaslighting is so damaging. Instead of recognizing unhealthy behavior, you begin doubting yourself. But healthy relationships don't require you to silence your emotions. Even when people disagree, they listen with respect, ask questions, and genuinely try to understand your perspective. Your feelings are real, your experiences are valid, and your voice deserves to be heard. Never let anyone convince you that your emotions are a weakness. The right people won't dismiss your feelings, they'll make you feel safe enough to express them. One of the hardest truths you'll ever learn is that love by itself is never enough to build a healthy relationship. Real relationships are built on respect, honesty, trust, kindness, accountability, and emotional safety. Without those foundations, even the strongest feelings eventually begin to fall apart. Never normalize behavior that slowly chips away at your confidence, your self-worth, or your peace of mind. Every time you set a healthy boundary, you teach people how you expect to be treated. Every time you ignore your own limits, you send the message that disrespect is acceptable. You deserve relationships where you're appreciated, not merely tolerated, where your voice is heard, your feelings are respected, and your individuality is celebrated, not controlled. The right people won't force you to earn basic human decency because they'll offer it naturally. Remember, protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect. If this video gave you a new perspective, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need this message today. And tell us in the comments, which of these 5 behaviors do you think is the most damaging? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, protect your peace, know your worth, and never settle for less than the respect you deserve.